Hello friends, Nayaswami Hriman here, and once again, it's time to ask a yogi. I had this letter, again from India, like many of the letters I receive. This young man writes, I had to leave my job due to being very badly treated. That was 1 year ago, he writes, and I still haven't found another job despite my persistent, strong, sustained efforts. I know I need to release the anger that I feel from having been dismissed or having had to leave. I don't know if he was dismissed or he quit, but sometimes it's hard to get over the anger. How will karmic law pay me back for this suffering, which was caused by factors beyond my control? How can I move on from such experiences without rage or resentment? How will God and Guru help me heal? How to pray to stop such karmic cycles? Well, I feel for this young man. When you get fired or mistreated at work and you quit as a result of that mistreatment, that's very hurtful. That's not easy to get over. But the way Yogananda would sometimes put it, and my teacher, Swami Kriyananda, is, you were hurt once. Every time you recollect the incident and feel the hurt and rage or anger and resentment again, you simply, how many times are you going to go through it? In other words, you went through it once. Every time you relive it, you keep going through it. So even if you feel wholly self-justified in how you feel, which of course you obviously do feel self-justified, what good does it do you? Okay, it's over. Do you like feeling angry? Maybe at first you get all riled up, but after a while, after a long while, it's just a bore, and it becomes a habit of recollecting that anger and holding on to those smoldering embers of resentment in your heart. So your first step, well, I don't know if that's your first step, but one step is to come to the conclusion that you don't want to keep doing that. You don't want to keep reliving it. You don't like feeling angry. You don't like feeling resentful. You might know or feel that you have a good reason. Okay, you have a good reason, but it happened. It's over with. Let's let that go and move on. Now, there's another side to this, which is the law of karma. He used the phrase beyond my control. Well, there's truth to that, of course. If somebody lashed out and, treated him badly at work, of course, it wasn't his fault in the technical sense. But from the karmic level, we get what we deserve. That's a very harsh thing for me to say, harsh thing for anybody to say. Unfortunately, I'm not talking to him. But to some degree, in other words, by degrees, it's healthy for us to accept some responsibility for what happened. Now, if you just came out of a concentration camp, that's probably not a very useful thing to come up with. So it doesn't always work. But what you can take responsibility for, and this is even more important, is your reaction to what has happened. And your response, what action you take now to maybe, if possible, avoid those kinds of situations where you can see what you might have done to trigger that abusive behavior. But in any case, your response, which can be to, okay, this happened, I need to find a new job, and I'll do my utmost to be attentive to my next new job and make sure I don't do anything that could trigger that behavior, but in any case, that's their problem. Another point, more intellectual, is that when someone hurts another person, yes, the person is hurt, even killed, but the stain of that hurt, the matrix of consciousness and psychology and karma out of which that person was able to strike, had the impulse, desire to hurt, is far more hurtful psychologically, emotionally, and karmically to the source of hurt than to the object of hurt. Because the object of hurt can forgive. The object of hurt, meaning you, can let it go. But the one who did the hurt can't so easily let it go. The origin of that anger or that desire to hurt came from within that person. Maybe it's a habit even to make it worse. So you see, a certain amount of pity and compassion for the source of that behavior can also be somewhat helpful to one who's trying to overcome the response to that and have a more positive response. Okay, so I'm just checking my answer. Couple of points I made to him is accept as your karma that this thing happened, to pray for divine grace to strengthen your faith and the underlying goodness, mercy, and wisdom to all things that take place in our life, from which we can learn and grow. To at least be open to how you might change. If we're acting from the subconscious, it may be that this boy, a young man, was not conscious of, maybe he was a little bit lazy on the job. Maybe he was slow to say yes. Maybe he made excuses. In other words, there could have been some habit patterns that drew to him the abusive behavior of which he was not conscious. So a certain recollectedness and introspection, particularly with the next job. He didn't ask me how to find the next job, so I'm not going to address that at this point, and I didn't address it in my response to him. That, of course, is another subject, but that's all about energy and positive thinking and practicality. As Yogananda once said during the 1930s depression in America and other countries, he said, if I was out of a job, I'd shake the world to find a job. I have sometimes counseled people that until you get that job, go out and help, be a volunteer, make yourself indispensable wherever in your neighborhood, at a local grocery store, I don't know, a nonprofit or something. Put out the energy. Anyway, different subject. So I hope you find this helpful. All right.